So I grew up being forced to go to church constantly. So this has been a very difficult class as I am having to revisit the Bible and reading things that people have written um, about God and quoting the Bible and things that I already don't uh, agree with. One thing that I will speak about is the story of um, Christian charity. So, the model of Christian charity has been kind of driving me a little crazy as I think his name is Winthrop, uh, suggests that God created the poor and created the rich to work together. And it's been a little triggering because he goes on to say that the rich exist to help the poor. And I personally believe that the rich exist because they hoard everything. There's no divine intervention as to why they are rich, except for the fact that they are hoarding riches and resources. Um, and he goes on to say that it he says that it is the rich person's duty to help the poor and to lend money to the poor. But knowing historically how the United States has been ran, that has not been the case in a nation that claims it's a Christian nation. We haven't seen any of that sharing of wealth, um, especially nowadays where money, the wealth gap is getting bigger. Uh, it's He also says that the rich should lend to the poor, and if they see that they can't pay it back, that they should just forgive it, because the blessings will come to you from God. But I don't see that happening in this country either. And one point that I made in the discussion post is that it was easier for the Puritans to help each other when everybody was of an Anglo background. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But now that there are people of color involved, you see that assistance way less. And one example that I have of that is how farmland was being given for free uh, to predominantly white people and to European immigrants who came here before I think the 70s, and they were given free land and classes to learn how to farm. And once people of color started getting a little bit more rights, the free land was taken away. So I don't see how. So it kind of just goes to show that we still see people of color as savages. Well, we, because I'm a person of color, but society still sees people of color as savages because you don't see the assistance happening. Kind of like how right now with ICE, people are being detained and they're not even seen as people. But going back to the text, um, it talks about like welfare. It talks about assistance and lending um, money to the poor, and that's just to me crazy. Like I do not agree with what this man is saying whatsoever. It was a very difficult read for me as it took me like 3 days to finish reading. Um finishing the, the story of what is it called? The Wrath of an Angry God. Because he's talking about the gaping hole of hell and how people are over it, and it's just because God doesn't drop you into hell that very second. And it's just this whole reading assignments in American literature has been really triggering. Um, and kind of bringing back just trauma that I grew up because I was forced to go to church for 18 years, regardless of any choice that I had. I was forced to believe in the Bible. I was forced to not question the Bible. And so reading these stories through the point of view or perspective of people that I consider to be colonizers um, has been triggering because they don't even mention the natives as being poor. Like, the natives don't need help. It's only the settlers that need help. Um, and God's intervention only to do with the settlers, and it doesn't really, like, I don't know, everybody's just so, like, closed-minded and thinking that God is giving them land and they're not even seeing how they're stealing people's land. Um, so yeah, this has been very triggering and forcing myself to read this. I think that is all that I have. Actually, that wasn't all that I have. I forgot to make one more point. Uh, Having said that I was forced to go to church, I remember a passage in the Bible, which I can't remember what it is right now, and I don't It says to sell your worldly possessions because it is easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Um, and that if a rich man wants to get into heaven or follow Christ, he has to um, sell all of his worldly possessions and all of his wealth and follow Christ as like a poor person. And so Winthrop's argument that God created rich and poor isn't really biblical at all. So that was also kind of triggering to me. Uh, 'Cause I believe that, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is the reason why rich and poor exist is because the rich are exploiting the poor for their labor while hoarding things that they don't even need. Like the rich have billions and billions of dollars that they don't even have the time in life to spend that money. They can't purchase everything, but they want to hoard it. And it's just crazy to me that something like that is allowed, especially from people who claim that they are Christians. So, yeah, this has been very difficult to read.